What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the Spero Toys Animals of the Warrior Kingdom Wave 1 figures. So this was a Kickstarter that we backed probably 2 years ago by now, and we got the first wave of figures in. So we have a lot of figures ordered, but like I said, this is just the first wave. So these look pretty cool. So they're like humanoid animals that have a whole backstory through comics and stuff. Of course, we don't have the comics, so I don't know the backstory. So I just found out what I could about these characters online, but they do look really cool and very much remind me of like a Thundercats or Planet of the Apes type thing. So they all look pretty cool. So first off, we have Atreiu over here, so I'll show so you can see a little bit better. So he looks pretty cool there in the all gold color. And then we have Tiberius, so they're a part of the house Feral, so of course they're like cats and stuff. And then we have Emperor Kali, which is an ape, so we then get into a lot of the apes and stuff. So he's an emperor, so a big bad guy here, I guess you'd say, and looks pretty cool there. And then we have our back row of characters. So first we have our Horrid Ravagers, which serve under Kali, so it's just like a baboon or a mand or whatever. It looks awesome there. And then we get our Chunari of Pale and a Chunari Legionary, so those look cool as well. Again, more ape-like creatures. And as I mentioned, we'll go into more of the backstory and stuff as opening these figures, but all of them look pretty cool. So it's cool to have like named characters, and then like these two here are kind of just like army builders, so we have multiple of those. So all of these look really cool. I have already opened up the army figures, and they are pretty nice. They're really good figures, but I'll go into more detail. Like figure-wise, they are really nice, so it'll be cool to look at these. So we have these 6 characters to look at today, so it'll be a big one. So let's go and get them open and out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Atreiu, which is the Prince of House Fairless. So we're going to start out with our Fairless, so the cat-like characters. And he was trained to be king since birth and a proud symbol for his people. And he's a remarkable swordsman and brilliant strategist. So again, with this stuff, I'm just pulling it from like their website in the back of the box. So very generic stuff because I don't know the whole story from the comics and everything. But he does look really cool. And as I mentioned, you know, he's training to be king. So he does seem to be very royal and stuff with all the gold and everything. It makes him seem very king-like. And overall, as I mentioned earlier, these figures are really cool. Like, I really like them since I opened some of our army builders a little bit beforehand and messed around with them. They're really good figures. I didn't really have any issues with them. They all work pretty well and pretty nice and easily. The only downside is they're all very similar. So, like, as we go through these reviews, like body-wise and, you know, figure, actual design of the figure, they're all going to have the exact same joints and everything. And you'll see a lot of characters. So, like, the cat-like people have similar bodies, and then all the ape-like people have very similar bodies and stuff. So, very little difference between them. So, that's the only downside to me, but I still really like it overall. But he looks cool. As I mentioned, he is of House Fairless, so he's like a lion. You can kind of see that. So he has the cat-like face, so has all the classic like cat features and stuff. I love his eyes in there, the like brown eye colors and stuff, but then have the nose, the mouth, all that sort of stuff. And then the lion's mane sort of growing, but you can see it's kind of getting a little long, so he's got it in a ponytail there in the back, and then he's got pointy like ears. I don't think lions have ears like this, but it's just a nice characteristic to add that in there. And then, as I mentioned, he seems very like royal with his gold armor, so he's got a lot of gold, and then like this dark brown color underneath, so looks very cool with all the like leather and metal and stuff. Just a lot of nice details going into, so you can see it wraps all the way around the body with the details and stuff, with the gold outlines, again the leather like on the gauntlets, and little flaps down at the sides like loincloth and stuff. Just looks really nice, and all the way down the legs. So we get the feet, so we have the feet, of course, has 5 toes with the longer toenails, and same with the hands, so 5 fingers with the long nails on there. So as I mentioned, we'll see a lot of similarities between them. Oh, and of course you can carry out the fur throughout the body, so you can see it anywhere there's not armor. We do have a fur-like body, but we can do its movements, so it has pretty decent movements and not too bad overall. So the head can twist all the way around, and it has like a hinge joint up in there, so it can look down. You may have to force it a little bit, but can look down that far and up that far at least. Of course, the hair's hitting there. You can get a little bit further up, and it does have the lower neck joint as well, so I'm surprised when I twisted it didn't twist around, but it does have a little bit of move. You can see it sort of rocking back and forth there. And I found out with these figures, so you can have their heads like straight up, so I'm trying to push it all the way back. Yeah, it seems like that maybe is how they like should be and stuff, which doesn't look too bad, especially on him. Some of them look better than others, but it also seems like if you kind of put their heads down a little, like make the joint go down and then lift the head up a little, it seems to like fulfill more of the joint and makes them look a little bit cooler, at least in my opinion. Sort of like fills in the space in there, so it looks a little bit better overall. So as I said, if you have these, you want to bend the head forward a little bit and then lift it up to look straight on, and it kind of just makes it look a little bit better there in the head area. But then we get the shoulders that can come up to 90 with a butterfly joint, so it can go back and forth there. Not a whole lot of range, but it is in there, and of course can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far at least. Of course, we have some of the armor hitting in the way there, but it can come up to at least 90, which isn't bad. The wrist can twist around and can hinge, so this one has a hinge up and down here, but a lot of times you have issues with the armor piece, so you have to try and get it out of the way. And it's a soft rubber, it should be able to move. You could probably pop the hand off and remove the armor if you wanted to, but if you have it there, it just kind of gets in in the way sometimes. We then get the ab crunches, so we have an ab cutout, so it's cut out around in here, so crunch forward and crunch back, so pretty decent crunching. Some of them are a little bit too loose, like not loose enough where they'll just fall forward all by themselves, but it is loose enough to easily get the movement. And then we do also have movement at the waist, so with him he can rock back and forth and twist all the way around, and so it's got like a nice smooth hip movement, so you can also get like side to side and stuff like that. So pretty nice movement there in the waist. The hips can come up to 90 there. You may have some issues with like the skirting and stuff, but allows them to come up to 90 and out to the side at least that far, again because of the skirting. There's a thigh twist that'll twist all the way around, double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back. I don't know if there's any shin twist or anything. None of the figures I've been able to shin twist, but of course with armor it's hard to really tell even if there was, but I don't think there is. And then we get the foot that can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So it pretty much has all your standard movements or what you would expect or want from an action figure, so nothing too surprising there, but everything just seems really nice. And the plastic seems like nice quality. It feels pretty sturdy and stuff. I haven't had any issues about breaking. Like on their boxes they have all sorts of warnings, you know, to make sure you heat up with like a hair dryer and stuff. We didn't have any issues at all with that. Like every figure out of the box was perfectly fine. Of course you don't want to just risk it and like, oh, just don't care, but we, you know, test the joints. You know, we slowly start to move them, and if they move for us easily then we don't need it, but if they start to feel locked up and even with applying a little bit of pressure don't move, that's when we heat it up and make sure we don't break anything. So not having to heat anything up, and like I said, the good quality plastic, like it feels sturdy and stiff, and like I said, not gonna break on us too easily, and the relatively good joints overall for the figures. I was, like I said, quite surprised when getting it out of the box how much I really enjoyed them. Now the figures itself come with a number of accessories. We get different hands and weapons and stuff. So for him we get some extra hands. So first we get a set of fist hands, so just a set of normal fists since he has grip hands on there already, so we got that set of fists. And then we also get a set of like open claw hands, so hands that can't really grasp on anything, so just a nice extra to throw in. And then we get weapons, which is cool, but it was where I start to have an issue with these figures, again very minor issue. But first we get a knife, so this, at least I'm going to call it a knife, so it looks like this awesome nice knife overall design, so it's got a nice point on the end, nice just basic grip, but that's all you really need. And then this cool blade design, I love the cutout in the center, and then like the blade cutouts themselves just look really nice. So an awesome looking knife, and my issue with it is we have nowhere to store it. So he only has two hands, so he can only hold two things, but we have nowhere to store any of his weapons, so that kind of stinks. We do have a peg in the back that we can put one of his accessories in, but we can't like store, say if we want to give him a shield and sword, we have nowhere to stick this knife. So that's the only issue I have. I wish there was something where we could store like these things on him. So that's my biggest gripe with these figures. But then he also comes with a sword, so we get this awesome looking sword, this big giant sword, nice awesome silver blade. I love the blue jewel in there, and the handle design, everything just about it looks really cool. This is a nice awesome regal blade, so let's put this in his hand. So there's the sword in his hand, and it was relatively easy to get in, like not many issues. The hands are pretty flexible, you can easily get them open, but they flex back really nice, and again a nice sturdy plastic, but not hard enough that we can't get it open, so fits in there pretty easily. And then he also comes with a shield, so you get this big awesome looking shield that has the cat heads on it. I assume they're supposed to be lion heads. This one looks a little bit too weird, especially from the front, but the two on the sides do look very cat or lionish, and a lot of nice details on the shield. It almost looks like a leather design on the inside with that brown, with just the texture on it, and then the nice gold on the outside, especially with that ornamentation and stuff. Looks really cool. It almost looks like a kite in design. But then we have the back of it, so you can see we have different peg pieces there. So we of course have a peg that we can put into the hand, so you get this additional little attachment piece that you can pick whichever hole you want it in, so you know, put it on the left or the right, whichever one you want. So you just pop this little peg piece in, and it gives him a handle so he can hold on to the shield. And then we also get an additional peg. I don't know which end this goes in, maybe the short end in there, so it goes in that, and then that allows you to store this on his back. So that's why I was saying the additional accessory can store on him. So with that you can peg that in. Obviously you'd probably have to remove the handle, but you can just store that on his back there like that. Then it's a little bit awkward because you have to do one side or the other, but you just twist it to the side a little and it'd be like he's storing it on his back. But let's go and just put this in his hand. And so there he's got the shield and the sword now ready for combat, and that looks pretty cool. And again, relatively easy to get that shield in his hand. You just slide it down in the grip there, so it fits pretty easily there for him, and that looks pretty awesome with him having the shield and that awesome looking sword. So he just looks so cool having the weapons there, like I said, ready for combat. Now if you were debating on these figures, you know, especially whether like maybe throw them in with some other stuff, we did go ahead and bring in the Super 7 Lino because like I said, they're very similar to the Thundercats and everything. So here's Lino. Of course I do have him crouched a little, so he's a little bit shorter, but they are both 7-inch scale figures, so they do fit pretty well together. Of course Lino, since he's all the smooth skin design and stuff, doesn't really look as good or fit very well with these, but they could easily fit in the same display and stuff, you know, just having all these animal-like creatures in the humanoid forms fighting together and stuff. So you could have House Feralus along with the Thundercats, and then all the 8 characters following Mumra and stuff. But just wanted wanted to show you that comparison so you could see the scale of size and stuff. And like I said, when I have Atreiu standing up fully, they are pretty much the exact same height, but look pretty decent together as well. So Atreiu's a really nice figure. Like I said, very nice royalish and stuff with all the gold and everything he's got going in. And I love the little ponytail design. It just looks really cool for this lion character. And next up we have Tiberius, which is an ambassador for House Fairless. He's a master of negotiation, but his loyalty is in question after returning from an assignment with House Horrid, as he's allied himself with the Horrid Ravagers. So again, more storylining. We'll see those Ravagers coming up. But overall, looks pretty cool. So he's a tiger, if you can tell, so has a lot of cool tiger with the orange design, with of course the black stripes on him. And I love the white thrown in as well. So we have the head again, supposed to be very tigerish and cat-like and stuff. So with the eyes, nose, mouth, and all that stuff there. The white fur around the front, it's almost like a beard design, and then the orange fur for the hair, so it's all sticking up with those ears again. I think they're a little bit too weird, but still carry off the look. And again, that fur carries through the body with the neck, down the arms with the black stripes, going into the white hands, and then same at the bottom into the white feet. And then he's got a lot of gold on him as well. It's more like an off gold or like a paler gold, but it looks pretty cool with the nice blue details like around the neck, the belt, skirting, and down on the knees there, and then nice gold going up the legs on the inside, and just a lot of cool colors, like I said, with the paler gold and like cream colors and the blue details bringing out the accents, and just a whole lot of cool details going on in throughout him, and just looks really nice over all the way down to the feet. And once again, just looks really nice. Now Moon Mites, once again, all these are going to be exactly the same, so the head can twist all the way around, head can look down that far and up that far. Again, if you get the neck down and raise the head up, it does make it look a little bit better, because with his head all the way up like that, it looks like it's way too far up, but if you get the neck adjusted, it can look a lot better. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate around, bicep twist, double elbow joint over 90 there. Wrist can twist around and flex up and down again. Ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, so nice crunching. Twist all the way around at the waist, and again as the crunching, and can hula hoop there. Hips can come up close to 90 and out to the side that far. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint bends up that far to the back, and then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So we'll continue to see the same movements every single time. Now accessory wise, going to come with pretty much the same hands as well, so he's got grip hands on already. So he comes with a set of fist hands as well as a set of claw hands again. Then we get to his weapon. So first he comes with a pair of hatchets, so these look pretty cool. Nice awesome hatchet design with the silver blade going into the brown handle with some wrappings around and stuff. Looks pretty cool. So let's go and just stick both of these in his hands. So there he's got both of those hatchets, which look pretty cool. He looks sort of evil there, especially the look on his face and carrying two hatchets around. That looks pretty crazy. But he also comes with a crossbow, so that looks pretty cool. It looks like maybe has a skull piece up there with the fangs and stuff coming down. Looks pretty cool. So a nice crossbow design, so that'd be cool as well for him to have, along with a mace. So he comes with this giant mace, which looks pretty cool. Big evil mace with like the silver blades up top and the long handle there with some wrappings and stuff. That looks pretty cool as well, so we could give this to him. But I think I really like the way he looks there, just carrying those two hatchets. It looks pretty cool, and like I said, pretty evil and stuff, and by the story it seems like he may have turned evil. But once again, a really nice figure for Tiberius. And then we have Kali, which is the lord of the Horrid Ravagers and the reigning emperor of all the animal houses that rules with an iron paw. So he seems like a big evil emperor that all the characters want to take out. And overall, he looks pretty cool once again. So we're now moving into our ape creatures. And again, he's from the Horrid Ravagers. And he just looks pretty cool. So he's the ape-like face, you know, the very humanish face, but with the ape features. So the prominent like mouth and little flat nose there, the ears that look very humanish and stuff. And then he has the long hair. And I like the like grayish blue skin color. And then the long hair going to the back that has sort of like a blue tint to it as well. I don't know if you can really see that in the camera, but it has like a really dark bluish sort of color to it. And then he has his outfit, so again looks very regal with all the gold. So all the gold on him looks really nice, and I like the dark blue colors on him. So on the chest, midsection, down the arms, on the skirting pieces, the metal pieces down his legs all the way to the feet, just look really cool. It's a nice like detail and contrast of colors with the gold and that blue color. He has this scarf piece around his neck as well, so it's almost like a little cape hanging down there in the back, and he just looks really nice. Like I love the colors of him, and it just looks really nice with all the gold and stuff, and I love the different colors of the skin. So again, I like that bluish fur that matches the hair with the grayish blue skin color, and then even some like purple here around there. So purple's always a regal color, so I'm surprised he's not in more purple, but some purple there on like the flap in the front, and just overall looks really nice. So even though he's one of the ape creatures, he's still gonna have pretty much all the same movements. So his head can twist, though with his hair it's gonna be a little bit in the way, and again you can look down that far and up, just not really too far off, just up a little bit further there, but again the hair is gonna be in the way. But again, if you adjust the neck and get it in the right position, and it looks a little bit better overall. The shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so again over 90. Wrist can twist around and flex up and down again. Ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back. You can hear those pop-ins in there, and then twist around at the waist with the crunch, and then overall hula. Hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist is a little bit stiff, but it can twist all the way around. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, and the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. And again, I love the feet there with the monkey feet, so the 4 toes with the other toe off there to the side, so that's pretty cool. So again, very similar to the others, but still just looks really cool. And we get the additional accessories, so we get the hands again. So we have the fist hands that go along with the grips he's already got, and then the more open grips there. Then for his weapons, first we get a gun, which is kind of weird to have guns in this storyline or whatever. I feel guns wouldn't fit, but it's a nice like revolver flintlock pistol design. It looks pretty cool in design wise and stuff, but just something I wouldn't use. Like we have another character with a gun, so it doesn't really seem right and fit in here, but let's go and just put it in his hand to see what it looks like. So there he has the pistol. It doesn't seem to fit very well, especially of course with it being a flintlock with that design. Doesn't really work out too well, and like I said, doesn't just seem to fit in here. It doesn't fit right with the character, so definitely don't want to give him that gun, but it's interesting to see him, and we'll see with like his minions that they have guns as well, so it's like the ruling class has the heavy firepower, so that's interesting to see. But then he also comes with these 2 swords, so these awesome looking swords. They remind me of the Dothraki swords from Game of Thrones, but 2 very cool swords there with the gold blades and those bluish color handles, so they look cool. So let's put these in his hands. So there's Emperor Kali with those 2 swords, and looks pretty cool. Of course, it's hard to get them kind of posed up with how big they are, but they look pretty cool. And doing this show just makes me realize how cool it'd be to have like a more angry face or something to put on him. But either way, he looks really cool for Emperor Kali. And then we have a Horrid Ravager, which is a mandrill that serves as the backbone of the Horrid army, serving under Emperor Kali. And they tend to have subpar intelligence, but are savage and relentless, trained for deadly combat. And he looks pretty cool, but evil at the same time. So again, definitely looks like an evil character. And has the mandrill design, so it's almost like a baboon or whatever, but mandrill with the red nose with the blue like flares on the sides. And then of course like the monkey-like face with the mouth and the eyes, and has little ears again with the points to them and stuff. But has the more like fur there around the face, and then that continues throughout the body, but it has this blue color on it. So I have this lighter blue, the darker blue, and the pearlescent blue, or like cobalt or whatever. Just looks really nice with those different shades and details down the skirt and the forearm pieces. And again, furry legs going all the way down to the feet, where we have the shin guards there with some nice gold there on like the knee pads. Overall, once again, just looks really nice and looks like they'd fit to serve under Emperor Kali. But for movements, we get the head that can twist all the way around. His neck's a bit stiff, but he can look up that far and then down that far. Again, decent movements. And if you get the neck a little bit forward and looking down, he looks even more evil there. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that bends up there about 90, and the wrist can twist around and flex up and down. Ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, and again crunch at the waist and twist around. Hips up close to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, and the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So same movements as all the others, but just looks really nice. And again, this is like an army builder, so you can buy a bunch of these and just kit them out with different weapons to make up the Horrid army. Now accessory wise, going to have pretty much the same thing. So again, additional hands in the fist form as well as a claw one, but then we also get an additional hand with a trigger finger, so for the gun that I mentioned. What's cool about these and like the other army builders and stuff is that we get helmets that we can put on. So we have a helmet design again in that dark blue color with the nice gold stripe there on the head, so we can just take this and slide it onto his head. And it doesn't really fit on too well, but I'm sure if we heated it up and like got it molded around him and let it cool and stuff, it would fit a little bit better. But you can kind of get it on his head just like that, but it keeps like popping up, so you just got to get in the right position. And for weapons, first we get a knife, at least they call it a knife, but nice awesome silver blade, nice details to it with a set of knuckle dusters on it, so that looks pretty cool. So let's put this in his hand. So there's that knife in his hands again with the knuckle duster and stuff there. It looks pretty cool. And then he also comes with a sword, so like a scimitar looking sword, but looks pretty cool with the blue color on the handle and silver blade and stuff. So let's put that in his other hand. Oh, and I just realized he has an open grip on this hand, so he does have 2 of the open grips. So I guess this one with the trigger finger goes for this hand, so if we had that on, we could put this sword in his hand. But finally we get the gun that I mentioned, so we get a gun here that looks pretty cool with the silver design with the blue wrappings around it. So again, doesn't look like it fit in very well, but we do get it as well. So let's try putting this in his hand. So there the Ravager has the gun, and that does look pretty cool, but like I said, it just doesn't seem to fit them using guns, especially with every other character not having guns. So it seems like the Ravagers are pretty overpowered with using guns, but he does look really cool there, so I can't really complain too much about it. And overall, it's pretty cool to have this like army builder to add to our Horrid Ravagers. And then we have Pale, which at least I think that's what his name is. And he's the last heir of the House of Chunari, which is the Guardians of the Forest. And he was trained from birth to fight and survive on his path to the throne as the best hope to bring Kali's reign to an end. So he kind of seems like the underdog trying to fight up from the bottom to restore the throne. And overall looks pretty cool. Again, another ape-like creature. He looks more like chimpanzee-ish, but still looks pretty cool again with the monkey-like face in there. And then the big humanoid ears and stuff. But I like the more like shaved skin, but has the mohawk up top again with like this whitish gray color, and then the sideburns going down with the long tails on each side. Just looks pretty cool and crazy there. And again, does look very apish. So with like the hairless section in the middle there, and then the hair all down the side and going down the arms and legs. Of course, similar with the hands and there at the feet as well. But he's got this nice red detail, so it doesn't have much armor there on his chest. He does just have the strap, so it has a nice little shoulder piece there, and the strap ground with some pockets. It even has a holder on back here, so he actually can hold an additional weapon on him. And then he has the skirting piece with the red, so the dark like maroon color and pearlescent red just looks really nice there in that combination. Same with on the forearms and the shins, and then the nice shiny blue there at the knees as well stands out a lot. So he just looks pretty cool. A little bit awkward with like the hair designs, like I said, with the mohawk and then the hair coming down the side. Looks kind of awkward, but overall he does look cool at the same time. Now movements, get the head that can twist around. Of course, you have to be worried about his hair. May not be able to get it go all the way around with the long hair in the front and back, but you can look down that far and then up that far, so pretty decent there. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We had a bicep twist, the double elbow that bends up over 90 there. Wrist can twist around and flex up and down. Ab crunch, crunch forward, crunch back, crunch and twist at the waist. Hips come up 90 and out to the side. Oh, he's further to do splits than any of them. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far, and the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So the same movements as always, but it's cool that I added a little bit more movements to do like the splits and stuff is cool. Then accessory wise, he comes with the fist hands and then claw hands, but I only found one. I don't know if I lost the other one somewhere or if he only came with one, not exactly sure. We have one like more open hand. Then he comes with accessories. So first we get a hatchet, so much like the ones we saw earlier, they're pretty similar details, just in different colors there. It looks nice. And then we get a little knife, so that looks cool as well, a little bit different blade design. And again, I like the like brownish red color that's mixed in there, so that looks cool. And then we get the sword as well that we saw with the Ravager, same sword again, just different handle color there. And with this, we'll go and stick this in his back, so we'll just slide it into the slot here so he can hold on to it. Now the weapon I want to give him though is he comes with a set of claw daggers, so these look really cool. These little daggers with the curved blade for like a claw and stuff, that looks really cool, so let's give these to him. So there's Pale with the claw daggers, and he looks ready to just tear somebody up, so I think that looks really cool for him. So very awesome for Pale there and his claw daggers. And our final figure is the Chunari Legionnaire, which were handpicked from the finest recruits that go through rigorous training to become the last phalanx of defense for House Chunari. So he goes along with Pale and overall looks pretty good. Again, has that chimpanzee-like features more for him, so looks pretty cool. So it's going to have a face pretty similar overall to Pale, so not much difference except for the hair. It doesn't have the mohawk or the long mutton chops or anything, but overall looks pretty good with that design. I even like the little wrinkly designs there on his forehead, nice little details in there. And then he has this all metallic red armor, so matches along with Pale. Just looks pretty cool with that all shiny metal red colored with some straps and stuff going on. I love the blue details as well, so the metallic blue and stuff here in the middle, and then of course have the guards on his forearms and shins and stuff. That just overall looks pretty cool and looks like it fits well with Pale having the similar colors with red and stuff, but overall just looks really cool as another army builder. So movement's head can twist all the way around. You can look down that far and then up that far, and again if you adjust the neck and get an angle, it looks a little bit better there. Shoulders up 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that a little bit stiff but can bend over 90 there, and wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. Ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward, crunch back, so pretty decent crunching. Again, crunch and twist at the waist. Hips up to 90, out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, and foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. It's a little bit more stiffness in joints, but overall it's going to be exactly the same. Now accessory wise, he comes with the fist hands as well as the more open hands. Then weapon wise, first he comes with a helmet, so much like the Ravager, he comes with a helmet, you know, being a part of the army builder, so we have a helmet there. We get a knife, or again what they call a knife, and looks pretty cool, so Pale had a weapon just like this, so awesome, he comes with a similar one. Then we get what I always thought was just a sword, so it looks very cool, you know, nice awesome sword design with the handle and stuff there, but then didn't realize they also came in the pack with a stick, so it becomes a spear, so we have a spear that we can put it on, and it kind of fits on a certain way. You just have to kind of twist it around. It's got this square cut out, and you twist around until it finally fits on there, so that looks pretty cool. So let's give him this spear. So there he's got the spear. And then he also comes with a shield. So we have this shield design, which looks cool with the ape-like face on the front. So it's kind of hard to see. It does look very lionish and stuff, but it's supposed to be more of an ape-like face. Looks pretty cool again in this metallic red, which is cool. Again, it has the 2 holes on the back, so we can put the grip in one side. And then if we wanted to put it on the back, we do have the peg as well there. And he has the hole in his back that we could peg it in again to store it back there. But let's go and just put this in his hand. And there we have our Chunari Legionnaire. And he just looks really cool. And I love that design. Just the overall look with the helmet, spear, and shield just looks really cool. And overall, just really like this figure. It's one of my more favorites out of the set. Now with the Chunari Legionnaire and the Horrid Ravager, they're like I said, they're just generic guys that you can army build, and we did get multiple, so we have 2 of each of these characters. But with these, you can then add different weapons to them. So we did buy some of the weapons packs that you can sort of pick and choose whichever they go with. So it seems like the best that would go with each of these, not that it really matters, are these 2 weapon sets. So again, it's going to be hard to see, but there we have one. I think this is called Cobalt, and it sort of matches the colors that they're with here. So you get different shields and different weapons and stuff, and all the weapons we've pretty much seen already with the other characters. And then we have the red set here as well, and I like that it comes with a bow, so it's a little bit different there, but it still comes with a lot of the same weapons. And then we have these 2 sets as well, so it just comes with a lot of the same weapons and stuff all over again, just in different colors, more of like a silver color or a gold color again that can go with more of like the Feralist sets and stuff. But overall, just wanted to show this out again, so you can army build these figures if you get multiple, especially like these 2. You can easily put all the different weapons with them and stuff to build an army. Well, that's going to be it for our Spero Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Wave 1 set, where we had Atreiu, Emperor Kali, Tiberius, Horrid Ravager, Pale, and Chunari Legionnaire. All of these are pretty cool. Again, this was a Kickstarter set, but you can now go to their website and just order any of these figures if you want them. And of course, there's more waves coming out, so those will be coming out in the near future. And I think we have Wave 2 as well coming, so we'll have to look at those when they come in. But overall, I'm really happy with these figures. Like, I really like the designs. Like I said, the plastic's good quality and stuff. They've held up pretty well. They haven't really had any issues or anything. Like I said, my biggest complaint with these is that I wish they had more ability to like store their weapons and stuff. Unfortunately, we don't get any of that, but other than that, they are really good figures, so I can't complain at all about them. So let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.